Sorry, I just found it funny. It's just like Nova just going, yes, it's very interesting. However, we still have things to do around here.
Right, don't forget the eggs. Don't forget... Right. That looks like something you should...
What is that little dirt path?
That's an inbuilt bed, I imagine. Have you not seen...
That's not a bed, that's just a patch of dirt.
Have you not seen the guys who... Oh, look, it's our friend. Hi again. It's Boken, the hillside climber.
Oh, yeah.
This is Dragonia. So where are all the dragons? Get out of my way.
In the ground.
Oh, god damn it, Boken. Boken is cursed. Oh, and Papal pointing out that Kane's name has been spelt 2 different ways in this game already. Grumps opens the chest. Yeah. Oh, John, you've got to read this.
Grumps discovers a broadsword. Broadsword.
Fires of Wrath.
Yeah. Cobra G Mancy saying that my god Kane was David Bowie.
Yeah. All this time.
Yeah. We could be villains. Just for one day.
Oh, just for one game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just for one game.
He also says, I've also always associated the name Kane with the sinister dudes wearing masks thanks to this game and pro wrestling.
I mean, also...
Oh, yeah. That Kane.
There's also that Kane who was a sinister dude and a pro wrestler.
Yeah. And a mayor, by the way, if I understand that correctly.
Yeah. A very right-wing mayor, from what I believe.
Really? Oh, why am I not...
So let's
not get political about this.
Let's have a little count of who's deceased. So, fighting Kane. Kane killed the following. He killed Arthur.
He did. He did do that.
I'll pay my 170 gold. So remember, we got 1,200 gold for killing Kane.
Copper Geomancy saying, yeah, he's the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee.
Yeah. Oh, my Kakichi's in bad shape. I can revive him, but it'll cost 130 gold, so that's 300 gold for 2 people Kane has killed. So we've made a net gain of 900.
Good. Grochek also saying, I liked how the GBA remake cleared up the backstory of Kane. It also clears up the unusual dialogue.
Yep.
So one of the things that we've also been doing on our YouTube channel is I've been doing a look at Suikoden 1.
Yeah.
You should go check that out. That's a lot of fun. And we have noticed as we get further and further into the game, the translation gets more and more weird.
Yeah. We were also doing that with Corporate Geomancy, who's in chat. Right.
Yes.
I'm gonna slow this down because I got excited before.
Yes, you did.
We've killed Kane, and now we need to ask Nova.
Killed is a strong word.
He didn't spin and explode. He faded in and out of existence.
That's right.
Are we ready? So, people in chat, no googling. Just the first thing that comes into your head. What is Nova's advice going to be? What is Nova's advice this week? Well, Grumps, are you ready to face the enemy? Nova's advice. Anyone got any suggestions?
Yeah, poaching an egg without like a little plastic cup thing is actually a lot more difficult than you might imagine.
I reckon it should be, if you're doing anything egg-based, you should hatch it and then stick a carrier bag on top of an octopus and say you hatched it from the egg. Are you being summoned?
Yeah. No, sorry. One of the fans in my giant PC has decided to get clogged up with something. It's making a noise. Sorry about that.
Corporate Geomancy. Probably something about terrain knowing the next battle. Shining Saint. Man, Varius must have had to been like level 9,000 if no one could pay to revive him. Just more proof that grinding doesn't pay. See?
Oh, man.
Our theory's being backed up by Sinning Saint of all people.
That used to be one of my stream noises. The whole like, it's over 9,000!
Yeah. And the same with Howl, who's Kazin's master. Right, advice time, baby. You still have a long way to go. Use magic wisely. Give herbs to everyone.
Okay, I actually think that the give herbs to everyone is actually good advice.
I mean, is it just so that when we die, we just become like some kind of spicy broth? Like, we're our own garnet bouquet.
Right? Right, Austin? That's actually pretty good advice.
Yeah.
Who knew? He actually possesses the ability to help. Oh.
How are you playing Suikoden? Asking for a friend.
I'm emulating, but I also have, like, you know, this. I have this, Gareth.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm emulating, but I also possess the actual version of the game. Because, you know.
I have at my mother's house Shining Force 1, 2, and 3.
At my mother's house? Yes, at my mother's house. I have Suikoden 2. I have 1,500 copies of Suikoden 2 at my mother's house.
Sure you have.
I can't go there right now and go get them for you. I'm sorry, you'll just have to believe me.
I mean, if you want me to run to my mum's house and get the games, I'm
That's
sure
going to go really well on stream, Gareth.
everyone's going to love that. To be fair, my mum's house is, what, 2 minutes, 3 minutes walk away? Right.
Tell you what, let's just all set up a Periscope account so we can watch Gareth run to his mum's house.
So here's all the dragons that Kane was chilling with. Like, do any of them do anything?
Why does one of them... The green one, why does the green one just look like a turtle?
Yeah.
Wait, are these the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the big red one is Splinter?
Yeah. This door will only open for 2 heroes.
Mind blown.
2 heroes, you say? Right, where's Kane hiding? Is he in his little hut?
He's in his hut.
Is he in his
That's
ship?
not Kane.
Yeah.
That's not Kane.
How do
Is he just doing his Thanos thing? He's defeated. He's done his purpose, and now he's just living out the rest of his days.
Yeah. Just...
apparently you passed him.
Did I? Is he...
I didn't see him.
I didn't see him in a house, or is he...
He's in the same building.
Oh, he's in here, is he? In the manor
First
shrine?
building.
Oh, so he is. I totally did miss him.
He's right there. I didn't see him either. Fantastic.
Please, Grumps, come with me to the door. We must stop Darksol at any cost. I want revenge what he's done to me. We must keep that manual from him. Ah, Manuel.
Yes. Gotta say, by the way, there's quite a few instances playing Suikoden 1 where you do actually need the manual from the original game.
Yeah. I really want
Need is a strong word, but
I really hope
yeah,
that before they open this door, they have, like, matching signet rings or something. And they, like, fist bump each other and then turn them into magical locks or something. And if not...
No, it's the Scrubs thing with the decoder ring.
Yeah.
Activate! Power up an Ice Menorah!
Well, that's the Wonder Twins from DC Comics. That's where that whole skit comes from.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Grow Check 1, Wonder Twins, power, activate.
Wow, okay.
But is it me, or is that a bird painting on the back of this wall instead of a dragon?
It's not a bird. It's a dragon. Come on, you're in a dragon temple.
How do you not know
Dragon
they're not just
door.
big fans of Volcanon?
Volcanon sucks. Everybody knows this.
Here you go, John. It's your turn.
Ah, Kane. Feeling more like yourself now, are you?
This is the 3rd Darksol voice.
I forget my voices. I'm sorry.
This is the end, Darksol. Grumps, get out now. You'll only be destroyed if you stay.
I can't let Grumps go. Now that I have what I wanted, I have no further need of him. For you see, dear friends, I have both the key and the manual.
Yeah. Corporate Geomancy. Yeah, sometimes Darksol is Skeletor. Today, he's kind of spooky.
Dark Dragon will soon be free again.
Go, Grumps! Run! I'll deal with Darksol. He doesn't even shut the door. He doesn't even shut the door.
He doesn't. No.
Well, nothing unusual.
Fantastic. Nothing's unusual.
I was talking to my friend about and came up with a way to make Peter too OP.
Yeah. He already is. That you're playing the game normally. That's supposed to happen.
Congratulations, you've done it. So, where are we going now? Merge Peter the Phoenix with the Phoenix Force.
Well, I think Nova actually said something that you're supposed to do, right? So maybe go back to Nova and ask for more advice.
Oh, he's over.
Wait, that's the
why
right
is
way.
Boken's left his shed?
Yeah, what is he going to tell us what to do?
No, he's just.
No, he's not. He's just wandering.
He's.
He just wandered outside like a confused old man in the home.
Am I Boken? No.
Possibly. Like other guys are in the shop, like, hey, there's this massive battle happening outside.
Yeah.
Should I stay or should I go? I could save my life and my family by going.
Right,
or I could sell weapons.
Apparently we go back to the child village.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Austin. Glad somebody knows what they're doing on here.
Nobody needs to know things. John's favourite music in any video game ever. So, let's see what adventures behold us in the children's library. It's the... Oh look, we can't leave now because the world's strongest security guard is here again. Have you noticed
Is his name Hercules, perhaps?
Have you noticed the rocks are smashed now? Like, there's just
he just
rubble...
smashed those.
Yeah.
He just smashed them. He just headbutted those guys.
Yeah.
They didn't stand a chance.
Right. Is it in here?
Does the first battle in Shining Force 2 really have better music? No. However, I'm pretty sure that... You know, yes, it does. I was going to come up with an argument, but it just does.
Have you seen Corinne? Yes. Well, never mind then. Welcome back, Grumps. I told everyone about Blue. Thank you so much. Bryn said she found something in the old records. It sounded important. And it's that side of the building. I knew it would be. I mean, there's definitely... The music is one of the many quality of life improvements that occurs in Shining Force 2. Let's...
Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean...
It kind of gets annoying that it... So you could leave this town and just go onto the main map again, and it would be at the same point in the track each time that you did that. Yeah. It just kind of gets annoying.
Yeah. Woof. Right. I checked the old records and read something interesting. Do you want to hear about it? Nah, fam.
So, something just occurred to me, by the way. Is she the girl from the intro?
Who? This girl, Corinne? No.
Yeah. There's another girl reading a book.
Yeah. Listen, the Manuel of Seal holds the key to awakening Dark Dragon. He must never awaken. The Sacred Dragon must keep the Manuel from evil hands. Also, there's something here about a sword called the Chaos Breaker. I wonder if Chaos Breaker's still... Yeah, she's called Simone Geomancy's saying. Not...
Yeah, Grochek said too. Yeah. But, guys, like, wouldn't that make some, some lore sense to have it be the same girl who spends all her time in the library?
I mean, when you
Or is there some special reason she has that book?
Yeah. Well, if she's reading,
I'm showing my ignorance. I'm just opening up my coat of ignorance to you all and exposing the horrors within.
But it's like a flasher that nobody really wants. So, like a flasher.
Like a flasher. Yeah.
It says that when the sword is used at the westernmost point of land, the castle of the ancients will rise from the depths. Whatever that means. No. Oh my!
It's like in Castlevania 2, when you kneel at a random point and just things fly out of the ground.
This is something with Castlevania 2 that doesn't make sense to me. So you're out to stop Dracula. Yeah, you go and collect the bones of Dracula to reform Dracula to stop Dracula.
So you can super kill him. Yes.
Surely, you start the game and you go, well, job done. Moving on. So, where do we find this sword?
I like how, basically, before we did this, Gareth was like, I made some notes earlier on. I'm totally ready for this stream. And now we're at the position where Gareth is just Gareth is just... Let me finish my sentence. And now Gareth's at the position where he's just going... does anyone know what we're supposed to do? Okay,
so my notes, hilariously, are not about where the game is, John. They're notes of conversation.
That's what I have too.
Yeah.
To be fair. So I haven't got through most of them. But spent too long talking about the whole Shining Force franchise.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that, when you introduce news for a long dead or a long thought dead franchise, and there would be some conversation points to be had.
Right. Now you
And
leave
so apparently you just leave the
and
village.
do the worst battle in the whole game. Awesome. Those are the
Not
kind
the worst,
of
but the longest.
All right.
Let me go get my my sleeping bag, shall I?
Yeah. All right, Aizawa. We all know you sleep in that room with a juice carton.
I totally could. I don't though.
Oh,
Do you need Suts carrying again? But yeah,
That's
so
good.
one of the things I wanted to talk about, I've been playing some video games. Heaven forbid.
Awesome.
Sorry, I'm letting you talk to. Was that Karen?
Yep. She's the mayor and Crin's the librarian. In no way just reading chat for that information. Not at all.
No,
not
of course
me.
not.
And then mysteriously,
There you go, now you can lead.
the strongest child ever moves.
He talked into his cuff and just went, Eagle has left the building. Over.
Yeah.
Am I...
Do you want me to be Michaela for a change?
I mean, it's a female character. The rule is that whoever isn't hosting has to do all the female characters. Isn't it?
Usually, but for some reason I think we've both been Michaela. Go for it,
Gramps, we meet once more. For the last time, I fear, you will die here. My minions shall take care of you, but if they fail, I await you in Demon Castle.
That sounds a cheery place. Nothing bad can happen at Demon Castle.
No.
Are we...
Oh, you've got Golden Gargoyles. Dude, how could that have any other name than Demon Castle?
Castle Grayskull?
I was just thinking that myself. But
was John like, don't call me out on this? Right, so they're all...
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
That pretty much is a rule, Papple. Whoever is not hosting has to do all the female voices.
Yeah. And in no way when we were doing Tearing Saga was my voice absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, it was.
And it throws so many characters at you, though. So early on, and it's just like... Can we not? Could we maybe just get used to, like, a little group of characters? I mean, what's your stance on the more characters equals better? I know Austin in chat loves a character collector. Whereas I'm kind of like...
It depends, because, I mean, in Suikoden, like, there are, like, 108 characters, but not all of them are integral to the plot. So... Whereas I think the Tearing Saga thing kind of got bogged down in introducing characters and making sure each of them had, like, some significant part to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the Fire Emblem games kind of do it a little bit better. In that, like, they introduce little groups of characters, or they introduce characters through scenarios a little bit better.
Yeah, and they don't all have to talk to the main character.
Yeah.
They just have, like, their own conversations.
Yeah, basically.
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm fine with them, like, you know, in reality's sake, you wouldn't be able to hear these conversations, but you can because they're, like, giving you bits of the character's lore and ingratiating yourself with them. So, yeah, I totally get that.
I mean, then there's a couple of games I can think of that are, like, the complete reverse, like Children of Zodiac. Only has 3 characters in the whole cast. And then you've got games like the Tales of games are usually like 6 or 7 characters.
Tales of Vesperia had like 9 characters, didn't it?
Yeah, but it's still a small cast, comparatively.
I mean, that's kind of the size of most of the Final Fantasy games. On the PlayStation 1, anyway.
Yeah, but then you've got, like, swappable out options. There's nothing worse, I think, with some of, like, the Fire Emblem / Tearing Saga games. And a little bit Shining Force, where it's like, this is just a better / worse version of this specific unit type.
I think in the first 2 Shining Force games, at least, they give, like, a... More or less, there's a few exceptions to it, but for the most part, they do a good example of, like, having a varied cast.
Yeah.
I think Shining Force 2 does it slightly better than in this game.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, The centaurs are all interchangeable in my opinion. It's just some have better stats than others. Diane and Hans might as well be one person. Like
Hans.
Yeah.
See, that's it is the Chrono Cross problem. I would like to know what the Chrono Cross problem is.
We should totally play that sometime. I've never played it. I've played Chrono Trigger. Like, I've completed Chrono Trigger a couple of times and thoroughly enjoyed it. I would like to play Chrono Cross. It's one of the few PS1 games I don't have. Mainly because it's an NTSC game. So I'd have to buy an import copy. I don't have any advertisement to doing that. It's just that it makes it more expensive to do so. It's on my list to get at some point.
Captain Krill, there's 45 characters, you only ever use 7. That's the Chrono Cross problem.
Yeah. No, that's not what he's saying. He's saying he enjoyed the 3 houses approach. Right. Lots of characters, but the setup and coverage is just a few each time you play.
Yeah.
But you can change the way that you play in 3 houses. You can get the other characters from other houses.
Yeah. I mean,
so you can do that.
I think Fire Emblem Awakening kind of really helped that out by the fact that you get the children by like the marriage section, I suppose, the shipping, and then the children are related to the characters that you've shipped, and then
that started in War of the Genealogy.
Yeah. But I was just but I think Awakening sort of introduced that sort of Pokemon style breeding system quite well to that game.
that's in War of the Genealogy.
I'm not saying it's not, but does it have the time travel?
Are you saying it introduced it?
No, I say it
introduced something means it should be in that.
Okay, it refines it is the term I wanted.
That's fine. Yeah, okay, it works. It does it really well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that War of the Genealogy did have that. So.
Yeah. But did it actually matter which characters created the child?
Yes.
Cool. I think Arthur actually having some magic attacks is actually working out pretty well for us.
Okay, we said the magical word of Chrono Cross, so people are talking.
Yeah.
How dare they? Chrono Cross has an amazing soundtrack, a fairly good story, and 2 damn many characters that you just do not care about.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the main issue about RPGs, isn't it? That like it's so easy to just put in more characters for mechanics' sake rather than stories.
But it's not even necessarily. Sometimes you're putting characters in for story's sake, and it's actually got nothing mechanical to do. So
too. Yeah, you can have hard swings in either way, can't you?
Yeah, and you've got what was I going to say? Like Vandal Hearts 2. One of Vandal Hearts 2's big issues for me is those characters are literally interchangeable because you just give them anyone can have any item or weapon.
Yep.
And
they are literally plot points.
Yeah.
The plot point ciphers. That's all they are in Vandal Hearts 2.
And you don't even all the characters aren't even necessary.
Nope.
So you know what I mean. There's hard, as John put it, there's some hard swings on that. I mean, Vandal Hearts 2, I think, tried to do a lot of things and maybe didn't do them great.
Yeah, so I think they took a hard look at Final Fantasy Tactics and just went, we like the system in this where you can just like make a character be anything.
Yeah.
And then just went, well, we can do this, but we do need to do a bunch of other stuff differently. Otherwise, we're basically just copying them. So they just went, okay, well, we got to do this, and we'll do this, and we'll have them both take turns at the same time, and some things worked and some things didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's fair to say folks wanting to go into a real sequel to Chrono Trigger will inevitably be disappointed. So, there's a guy who I watch for Magic called Strictly Better MTG, and he actually randomly posted a video that was hot take, and his hot take was that he thinks Chrono Cross was better than Chrono Trigger, and he had no problems with like the mechanical wranglings of like, oh, this character may or may not be better than this character. He had no issues with it, but he really enjoyed it. I'm also going to go out and say this: I've never played Chrono Trigger.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. So it's one of the many things that, for some reason, it never got my attention. I think I play.
Man, it's such a good game. When you put it into the context of like when it was made, like it's an amazing accomplishment. Really is.
I'm not disagreeing. And I should probably try and find a little time. Like maybe when I finish this series, I play it for funsies.
Do you know what we should do, Gareth? So
What?
you can play Chrono Trigger in 2-player. So what we should do is we should get my mini SNES,
Right.
and I should either come to your house or vice versa, and we should play some Chrono Trigger together.
Right.
We should totally do that sometime.
How much are we going to regret this scenario? How much are we just? Is it just going to be video footage? But it's short, under 20 hours, which is crazy for a JRPG.
Yeah, you can if you don't like if you just mainline it, it can be quite short. So.
But it's all right. I've got Singing Saint willing to donate it to me on Steam, which is very kind of him.
Dude, don't do that.
So,
Don't do that. There are many ways to play it, and at this point, like I actually think that the ideal, like, in fact, I'm pretty sure that the Steam version took out 2-player support.
yeah.
Because I know they did that on Final Fantasy IX, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did the same thing with that.
Are we allowed to talk about Pro Jared anymore on the internet? Who? Pro Jared was a Magic the Gathering / tabletop / RPG streamer.
Oh, I remember that guy. Yeah. I've brushed up against some of his things, and I was like, yes, okay.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Yeah. That's one way of describing it.
Yeah.
I mean,
but yeah, there is like 1,000 things we could do like little playthroughs of. I actually do think if you haven't played Chrono Trigger, we definitely should, because there is some really good characters in it. My favorite is Frog. Reddit.
Yeah.
And I'll say no more because I don't want to spoil it for you. He's a fantastic character. I really like him.
How dead does he become, John?
It's not. I'm not going to say anything. Singing Saint saying that the Steam version isn't great, but it's a legal way I can get you a copy that isn't crazy expensive. I mean, so what I'm saying is that the mini SNES, which I don't know what the situation is on getting one of those, but I think it was like £60, and it has Chrono Trigger on it. And I wonder if it's actually the situation where the EU version has Chrono Trigger and the US version doesn't.
Imagine them doing that, John. Why would they do that? I mean, there's another game that I would
ask them about Lufia 2, Rise of the Sinistrals, a game which only came out in the EU and Japan and never came to the US. Yeah. Another fantastic JRPG game for the SNES.
I mean, I was also just about to say, like, there is another game that I would like to play on stream.
Oh, yeah, what's that?
It's a slightly strange choice. I'm going to call it Story of Thor. Some people in chat will know it as Beyond Oasis.
Yeah.
So I'm just shaking my head at Xylo missing again.
You should totally play that. I mean, it's a Zelda clone, and most people haven't seen it. But it's also got like a really not unique, but it's got a sprite-based graphics collection. I guess I got myself into a corner there that I really think stands up, and it holds up really well considering it's like a Mega Drive game. They also did like a Saturn sequel, which I think doesn't hold up as well.
Beyond Oasis 2, yeah. I remember being excited for it and then seeing that the Saturn was basically getting a game they could probably still put out on the Mega Drive.
Yeah.
Which I was a little bit...
I mean, talking about games that could go like hand in hand with the previous generation, like that's pretty much what Suikoden is.
Yeah.
So I remember you saying that about the first episode that we did for Suikoden 1, and Austin and I discussed it, and we're totally behind you with that. I think that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there's a ton of games for the PlayStation 1 that were just Super Nintendo games. Because it was... Who was it Nintendo that Sony were working with initially to make the PlayStation? And basically,
And then...
Nintendo went, cartridges, baby, and Sony went, no.
No chance. We make CDs, we're going to use CDs.
Yeah.
And that's why Square moved over. They've been like a stalwart of Nintendo for ages, and I think it was the head of Square really wanted to get into using CDs because they wanted to use FMVs.
Yeah.
And that's why they moved over, because Sony had them and Nintendo didn't.
I was showing a coworker one of my favorite FMVs ever.
What's that?
It's Tim Curry in Command and Conquer.
Commander, you're really beginning to rain on my parade. So I'm going to the one place where capitalism cannot reach. Space!
I like how you do that grunting.
I haven't seen that before. I
like how you do the grunting, but half of the grunting's him trying not to wet himself laughing.
Fantastic. Have you ever seen the version of that where it's done in different languages, by the way?
No. Oh,
There's
God.
There's a YouTube video out there that has it dubbed. So obviously, when something comes to the EU, it has to be dubbed into several different languages.
Right.
And there's a video that does each of them, and it's all El Spacio, and it's all these voice actors trying to get their own version across. Some of them use the laugh, and some of them don't.
Oh right, that's interesting.
It's interesting watching.
Is it good in the Switch bundle? It's been ages. Oh yeah, so there's some of the Trials of Mana has been talked about in chat. That's
on my list.
Yeah. So this is
it's not just on the Switch, by the way. So I have it on my Steam wish list.
Yeah.
So that's one of the best things about modern day video games now, is that things come to the PC. People are finally starting to realize that PC is called the master race for a good reason. It's not just hyperbole; it's the truth.
I need to set up my new PC, but I've realized I booked a week off, not next week, the week after. Ooh. So I may do some additional things. I'm unsure whether I to do a video of my build and my struggle, my trials and tribulations of building my first PC. I'm unsure I'm unsure if anyone would care about it, or if it ends up being it'll be like Homer when he makes the cereal in The Simpsons and it just sets on fire.
Yeah.
Just adds milk to it and it just
goes wow.
up. Yeah.
I suppose it is a master mage, he hasn't got the highest defense.
I mean, Gunts did solid damage against Kane as well. We get enough subs, will you build it without anti-shock bracelets? I'm going to be building it without anti-shock bracelets anyway.
You don't need anti-shock bracelets.
You just build it on I'll give you a top tip. Cardboard is an anti-static material.
Also, if anyone's ever doing that stuff and you're worried about damaging your
motherboard,
I know this works in the UK. If you ever worried about static shock damaging your equipment, you can touch a grounded point before you start, and that will ground you. That will remove static electricity from you. So you can just do that.
No,
you don't have to wear a bracelet. That's going too far. Unless you're constantly, unless you're in Die Hard, you've just got off the plane and you're in the hotel room trying to get rid of your jet lag by rubbing your feet against the carpet. Then maybe you need static shock bracelets. Otherwise, they're kind of superfluous. You don't need them.
I was just gonna say, you're not showing.
But you didn't think I was gonna go Die Hard on you, did you? Ah.
I was actually thinking the tick. Oh, I have a visitor. Gus, Gussie, this. Hang on, Gus. This is the back of a dog. Dog cam activated. Unfortunately, moving to move the cam, I can't actually. Go on, move your bum. He's sat on the edge of my chair, so I'm now going to be out here, people.
Nice. Good job. Well done. As usual, your giant dog is not listening to you.
What he's really doing is as you can see, he's opened my bedroom door, and he's trying to basically make my sister or her boyfriend jealous that he's in here with me, and they're not part of it.
Oh no, Gareth, is that working on you?
I mean, it's nice to have some attention. I'm just waiting for him to lay across the floor and steal all the floor space as well.
Yeah. Especially enough your dog is acting like a pouty child.
Basically. But yeah, I mean, the worst thing that could happen is if he gets really excitable and starts jumping up because he's like 50 kilos.
Yeah.
He's like 8 stone.
Captain Crow in the chat saying, is static not a thing in PC building? Maybe I'm showing my age. So, I believe that the cases and the equipment are a lot less susceptible to static discharges these days. Plus, people understand it a little bit better. Like, I used to think, as you did, that you should often be worried about static charges and things like that. The only time I've ever broken any equipment in PC building is through my own fault and own stupidity. So I might have told this story before, but I'll tell it again just because it's applicable here. So I'd moved to Bury, where I live, for about a year, and my mother-in-law wanted a PC. Now she was fully prepared to buy a big normal PC, and I was like, hang on, I can be the good boyfriend to your daughter and just save you some money. So I will build you a PC. Fully confident. I'd done it before with my dad's help at that point, and save her some money, and I'd be the good boyfriend. I'd be the good guy, So I took this PC, and I didn't use any risers. I didn't know what risers were for the motherboard. Now, if you understand a little bit of what PC building's all about, you need to separate the metal sheet of the bottom of your PC case and the motherboard that it sits on, because there's electricity that runs through the motherboard, and if the bottom contacts make contact with the PC case, they'll short out and destroy everything, and it will be a bad time.
It's weird that it's like metal's a conductor.
Yeah, I didn't do that. And so I built the whole thing, painstakingly did it over a couple of hours, turned it on, and nothing happened. I'm like, oh, that's weird. And then I took it all out, and then I realized that the bottom of the motherboard had
melted.
It was a little bit blackened. I'm like, oh, that can't be good. So I took it all apart, thought about it for a good couple of minutes, and I realized I probably should have separated it. So I put it all together and realized that I'd shorted the motherboard and completely wrecked it.
Yeah.
At which point I had to then go to my mother-in-law, who didn't know me that well at that point, and ask for more money to buy another motherboard, because I was a poor person at this point.
Did you not also fry the CPU and everything else?
I may have fried the CPU. The RAM survived. Good old RAM.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good way to get into my mother-in-law's good books. By promising to do something, but instead charging more money in the long run.
Just from making mistakes to another making mistakes, Gunt's just got 8 defense. Cowboy Bebop is getting a live TV remake.
Oh, you're making a hard swing. Okay.
No, it's you made a mistake, and I'm wondering if Netflix have also made a mistake. Yes,
they have. So, anyone in the chat who has watched Cowboy Bebop will know that it's sort of like a madcap show all about kung fu and bank jobs and sexy ladies and cool tunes.
Hear me out. Would you describe Cowboy Bebop, or allow the description of Cowboy Bebop as it's a Tarantino film anime? In the fact that there's off-the-wall stuff, crazy music, there's always a smattering of comedy in there.
So I would, except for the fact that I think that Tarantino's bad at doing fight scenes.
Interesting.
Now, some people will very much disagree with me, but I saw Kill Bill and I was thoroughly unimpressed. with the fight scenes in that movie, or those two movies. I was not a fan. So yes, tangentially, I guess. I get where you're coming from. I just think that Cowboy Bebop does fight scenes better.
Well, yeah, but that's also because it's an animated show, and you have the benefit of being an animated show. I need to kind of keep Domingo here for Chris.
But it doesn't have the same budget as any of the Tarantino stuff.
Right.
So Tarantino can spend millions of dollars getting his shots just right.
Yeah, but Tarantino can't actually have a camera go up someone's leg to show you a kick because of the physics of how big a camera is and how a leg works. And this is one of the many issues.
CG is, baby.
But CGI. But for a lot of his career, CGI didn't exist, John.
I know.
And this is what I'm saying is I always remember the Series of Unfortunate Events movie, the first one, and they got Lemony Snicket to write it himself. And someone pointed out to him, we can't make this film. It's like remember, this is what, late 90s, early 2000s. They were like, that's like $250 million movie that you've written. And he made the point, he went, when you write a novel, putting a car chase in isn't adding another $100,000 to the budget.
Yep.
And that's what animation studios, it takes some time and money in artists, but then they can literally do those kind of drawings and things that are physically impossible, which is why film doesn't always do these kind of shows. And I had a little bit of concern with some of the casting a little bit.
We all did. So I saw the IGN account of this being greenlit, and I posted it onto our Discord channel, which I'll put in the chat there. And I was immediately like, wait, John Cho as Spike Spiegel?
Yeah.
He just doesn't do it for me. John Cho isn't this. When I see John Cho, I see two things. I see Sulu in Star Trek, and I see that White Castle series of movies.
The Harold
where
Kumar
he's a stoner.
movies. Harold Kumar movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see him as
so I looked up John Cho.
I get that he's an actor and he can do other things.
Yeah.
But that's not what I see him as. I don't see him as Spike Spiegel.
Yeah. Well, I looked up his acting stuff because I didn't really know who he was, having not watched the Star Trek remakes and stuff. But he's mostly a comedy actor.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this feels like bad juju. And then I was looking at the rest of the cast, and they've got the guy who was Bushmaster from Luke Cage 2 to be Jet, which I was like, well, that's a weird choice. Some of it I'm willing to wait and see how it goes, but I just hope this isn't the Death Note live action movie again.
Oh, of course it is. So it's weird you should say that, actually. There's a guy I follow called the Anime Man.
Right.
You've
mentioned
YouTube.
him before.
Yeah. And he recently did a tier list of all live action versions of anime. And I wonder if it maybe was to coincide with this, because it only came out a couple of days ago. So.
Well, the IGN posting was today.
I get that. I was the one that posted it.
No,
so yes,
I'm
I
just
do.
saying.
But yeah, it's kind of. I should also say that he also has friends in the anime industry, so it wouldn't be out of the range of possibility that he knew this beforehand, that this was going to happen. So, but yeah, it's a bad call in my opinion. I don't think there has been a good live action anime ever.
Yeah.
So
I mean, one of my friends used to exclusively buy animes based on or movies based on animes, but not watch the anime. He'd watch the film first to see if he'd be interested in watching the anime. And he came to the conclusion that if the film's really bad, the anime's probably pretty good.
That's not a bad way to look at it, yeah.
Corporate Geomancy, Austin's losing some of my opinion points on him, seeing as he uses the phrase, I don't super love Cowboy Bebop as it is.
Have you seen the movie?
Knocking on Heaven's Door.
Knocking on Heaven's Door. The fight scenes in that are fantastic.
Hang on, I'm trying to angle this. This is where I got the wrist tattoo idea from.
Yeah.
Because Vincent is a boss. Probably literally, if he was in a video game, Vincent would most definitely be a boss.
The main villain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the main villain of that film, but you also know that he'd be like the boss he put in a video game to be like, get wrecked.
Yeah.
And weirdly...
It's pretty good, apparently.
Yeah.
He also says, I'd be interested to see what live-action Viscous looks like.
Yeah. Vicious.
I know that's what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
Viscous.
I'm kind of curious as to what live-action Ed's gonna look like.
Live-action Ein as well.
Well,
I wonder if they're gonna do...
Ein's a dog. They've got Ein. It's a real dog. It's a real corgi.
No. Do you know what they should do with that? They should make Ein CG.
Right. Are you suddenly getting like...
It's Detective Pikachu. It's Detective Pikachu all over again.
Are you getting $5 for every time you mention CGI this evening? John's bank account's just going up.
Well, I haven't mentioned the other thing that I'm getting paid for. That I love to shill for.
Oh.
Speaking of, by the way, so a couple of games I've been playing on Games Pass. You might have heard of it. It's a Microsoft service that is fantastic, and Kikichi nearly died there, but he didn't. He's going to carry on fighting and beat that guy. Anyway, Games Pass by Microsoft. $7.99 a month on PC.
And Blue quickly
$10.99 a month on Ultimate. And a couple of games I've been playing on there. So the first one is... what's it called again? It is Dodgeball Academia.
I was hoping it was I couldn't care less simulator, but I'm listening.
Wow. Shall I just not talk about the games I played on there then?
So tell me about your Dodgeball Academy. Is it as scary to go to as, say, Doki Doki High?
No, it's the opposite of that. It is... Well, I actually thought Blue was going to kill that guy. How wrong I was.
He's been doing 1 damage to everything. Realistically,
yeah,
I should take the power ring off Arthur and start making Blue wear it. But I'm not.
Yeah.
I wonder if that golem is going to charge Grumps.
What,
like,
Max?
Yeah. Right, that's going to
Possibly.
only do 1 damage, but I actually want to sort of get this... I can totally see what Austin was on about with this map, where it's just like some of your units due to the terrain, yeah.
Yep, mountains suck.
It just reminds me of Fire Emblem Sacred Stones when you go into the desert, and it just gives you all the units you used previously, so all your cavalry that you used in the previous map have like 2 movement.
Yeah.
Sucks. And then it randomly... the thing that's really annoying is it gives you other characters that are like really strong to attack and stuff, but you don't want to use them because they're already super leveled. Yep.
But yeah,
just leveling
Dodgeball
up.
Academia. Dodgeball Academia is a sports game with a like adventure game sort of game built around it, where you're going to school. You've changed schools and you're here to play dodgeball, and the way you settle all arguments in this game is to play like a little game of dodgeball.
Yeah. Okay.
And you're on a isometric field. You have your team on one side, the enemy team on the other, and you're playing basic dodgeball but with like some rules, and you've got power moves, and it's all very anime. And I was enjoying it until I realized, like maybe 3 or 4 hours in, that the game doesn't have a lot else going on.
Right.
It's this sort of like quite simplified dodgeball. You can catch balls. You can. One of the characters that you get like kicks the ball back, which I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to be able to do.
You can return
sort of like counter attack.
You can return the ball in any fashion. Apparently, I was told.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so there's things going on with that. There are super moves, but the game itself is like, okay, are you gonna tell a story, or are you just gonna make me have these dodgeball fights against everybody? It may as well just be. So, did you play any River City Girls?
No.
Captain Krill stealing my thunder here by telling me that we should play Pyre, because that's essentially what I was going to say to people, is that, like, whilst Dodgeball Academia has, like, this sort of, like, fresh look about it, you know, this sort of very nice
just quickly, John, I would
anime.
like to,
Go on.
I would like to just thank these two Master Mages for standing next to each other on their previous turn. Big shout outs to this game's weird AI. And I always love how Domingos, when he's done a multi-attack, has killed at least one person outright. So anyway...
Is Domingo actually going to be decent for you?
I mean, look at his health bar and his MP.
But isn't Domingo, like, meant to be one of the worst characters in the game?
No, he's like one of the most broken units in the game.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was assuming he was bad.
Because he looks like a carrier bag.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so the game looks like very nice, pastely sort of colour scheme, sort of anime stylings. And it's not terrible. There's some good lines written into the dialogue. It's trying to be a little bit jokey with the way that it's written. But it very quickly wears out its welcome for me in the way that it's played, unfortunately. Yeah. And anyone who's like played this on Game Pass, because you know it's free, you can do whatever you like. You should try Pyre.
Yeah. Is Pyre is the game where you're kind of trying to win back your life or something?
More or less, yes. You're cast into this sort of like wasteland, sort of like a la Mad Max sort of style. And the way that you can return to your previous life is you win a game of... Well, you win the championship of Pyre, which is a sort of like basketball game that you play on a very similar sort of isometric field. And it's made by the same people, Supergiant Games, who did Hades.
That's why I remember
Hades
it.
was the game... Yeah, Hades was made a couple of years ago now. Before that, they made Pyre. And I actually really enjoyed Pyre, and I actually had a conversation on Twitter with the... Greg Kasavin, who's one of the writers for Supergiant Games, and I said, like, I actually didn't care that much for the actual game itself. I just really love the characters.
Yeah.
And the characters are so well written. You actually care about... So each time... It's kind of a spoiler, but the game has been out for 5 or 6 years now, so, you know. When you win the championship... You choose one of your characters to return to their previous life.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you can no longer play... The game carries on, and you can play more games of Pyre, but you can no longer use that character in the actual act of playing the game.
Yeah.
So it makes you like have some hard choices, because you can only choose people that you've actually played with.
Yeah.
So you get like a team of like I think 6 or 7 people, and
imagine
you have to choose somebody that you've leveled up. So you have to use somebody that you really like.
Yeah. Yeah. Imagine someone being so good that you're just like, look, you're great, you're an amazing player, and that's why you can't have your life back. You all you do now is serve me and my sports ball team in sports ball hell.
So you literally can do that, and the game will have like written text responses for each of the characters that you don't pick.
Yeah.
And for those choices, like it's so well written. Like you can set the game to easy, because the sports ball, like the whole Pyre video game aspect of it, is okay. It's not the best.
Yeah.
It's the characters that make you want to stay and listen to their like lines of dialogue, and they're so well written. You feel like that. It actually was. There was a couple of points when I was like choosing my character to return to their life and leave the team, and I didn't want to, but this particular person was the only one that was actually leveled up to the point where they could leave. And I'd passed over them the first couple of times because they were my favorite character. Yeah. But they had to leave at that point. And I was like, oh, I really don't want to. It was when you care about characters like that, you know the game's well written.
Which is weird because like before that they'd also done, was it Transistor?
Transistor, yeah. I don't like that game very much. I think it's the worst of the Supergiant games.
Yeah. From what I can gather, Transistor is like very unpopular amongst the fans. Like Bastion, people kind of like Bastion because they can kind of see.
I think it's really well received. I'm not a fan of it personally. I think. So I actually said this to Greg Kasavin, name drop again.
Clang.
That I've played all of their games. I didn't like Transistor and I didn't like Bastion that much, but Pyre kept me wanting to play it, and just because of the way the characters were written.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that game should be tried out by people. People who've played Hades and think that it's wonderful. Go and play some Pyre.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when we were doing the podcast and we were going to talk about Hades, and you and Dan had both played it, and I had not. And I, at the time...
Is Kikichi dead here?
Probably. Yes, very much yes.
Kikichi's dead. Also, that Bow Rider looks really good. That's a good sprite.
Yeah.
I was going to swear. What were you going to say about Hades, though?
Like you were, because I think we reached a weird point when we were trying to do a podcast, and it was like, oh, we need things to talk about, and instead of looking for free-to-play games, we all just started buying stuff, like too much stuff, some would say.
I mean, there were games I was going to play anyway.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though.
But what did I get that week? Oh, Xylo doing a great job there.
I don't remember. It's over a year now.
Yeah.
Since we did that stuff.
Because me and you, there'd always be an overlap. Seemingly, like 2 out of the 3 of us would play a game, and then the other one wouldn't have a clue. So everyone was kind of talking. 2 people were trying to like almost sell that game to the other person.
It's almost like me trying to sell you on Game Pass. Because a lot of those, some of those games that I actually played were on Game Pass. I didn't have to buy them.
Michaela is said to possess the Sword of Light. You must enter her castle and get it. With that legendary weapon, you stand a much better chance against Darksol. However, I don't trust this game to not give me my characters back and just to throw me into a fight. Of course, it'd be one more.
You went the wrong way.
Yeah.